Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Steve Montelli, and today we're going to take a look at my favorite Philippine travel wallets. Now, I say Philippine because that's where I usually go, is the Philippines. But I've got some Philippine pesos here that we're going to be looking at, and I got some Thai baht that we're going to be looking at also. And there's differences in this, and it's pretty obvious once you see it. But the wallets I use mostly, I'm going to go into this one last. I use exclusively Western wallets. Now, they're zip wallets, and I like the zip wallets just for the discreetness of carrying the cash. Now, all these wallets basically do something different. They're not all used all the time, but I do change them out. And this one here, this is the Matchbox Wallet. The Matchbox Wallet is good for carrying credit cards in or carrying some kind of cards in. It's the perfect size for cards. Now, this is not an exclusive thing to the Philippines, obviously. This kind of stuff can be used anywhere, but this is for cards. I can only use it for cards. Can't put cash in it because the cash must be quartered to fit in here. There's no way for the cash to be folded in half. The interior of this is just one space. Some of them have a divider in the middle, which I'll show you in a second, but it's just one space. So this really isn't a whole lot of use to me except for carrying the pile of cards that I have. And I don't carry those cards with me on a daily basis. So that's the Matchbox. That's number one. Now, this one is, I believe this is the Manteo. But this is a wallet with an outside pocket, sort of a quick draw pocket out there. The inside is once again empty. The back side has no pocket on the back side. Now, I've spoke to Derek about this, who is the guy who does Western wallets, about putting a pocket on the back too for some cash. And I don't think we've hit a meeting of the minds on that one. In fact, my mind may be changing on my request for that one. But this also can barely hold cash, and the solution to this problem here, which couldn't hold cash. Now, let's take the Philippine pesos. Let's take the Thai baht and put it over here. Let's take the Philippine pesos. Here's a 500 peso and here's a 100 peso. Don't get too excited. They're really not worth much. If they fit in here, see this right here at the edge? Therein lies the problem. It's not quite high enough. Now you can fold it over and you can close it that way, but it's not quite high enough. Now, if you got a couple of cards on the inside and you've got a pile of cash on the inside, then it becomes a problem. This is really not closable at all. So Derek has addressed that problem, and he's addressed that problem. Now, let me show you this. These pesos are the same size as US dollars. Now let's take a look at this. This is Thai baht. Now, in many parts of the world, the notes are taller. So you can see I lined this up. The Thai baht is taller than the peso. Now the peso is the same size as a US bill. But you can see the Thai baht is shorter and it's taller. So that presents a problem in using the Thai money with these wallets. Now, the solution to a lot of this, the solution to this problem right here, and this was obvious pretty quick what the problem is going to be. The solution to that was this. This is much the same as that, you see? The difference is Derek made this one a little bit higher. And I will tell you the other. So now you can there's a space for a card out here. There's a space for some cards inside. And you can fold the cash once. And it'll fit in okay, see? Closes all right. You think it's all good. Let's stick a Thai baht in there. Now recall the Thai baht is a little bit taller than the Philippine peso. You can see the Thai baht even fits all right. Opens and closes easily. Now, the problem comes in with a couple of things on this wallet. If you stuff this full of cash, and this is just a couple of bills I've been putting in here, but if you stuff this full of cash, it becomes a problem right up here in the corner again. And in cash-intensive economies like the Philippines and Thailand, you got to use a lot of cash. And especially in the Philippines, there's a 20 peso note. Now, it's 50 pesos to the dollar right now. So you can imagine what that 20 is worth, not a whole lot. But you get a lot of them back as change. And so they're used for the jeepneys and the trikes and that kind of thing to pay those drivers. So the problem becomes in closing this zipper right up here in the corner again, because if you put too much cash in it, the zipper will catch it, and you'll end up spending the next 3 minutes trying to get this zipper open. The other problem with this wallet was, and I wouldn't ever think this would be a problem, but this wallet is made out of Horween chromexyl. Now, chromexyl is really infused with a lot of fats when they tan the leather. The problem came into being was when this is used in a hot climate and it's in the pocket, it actually becomes droopy. It actually becomes, it's almost like the fats and the emollients in the leather start to turn liquid, and this wallet starts to droop. And it's really an odd thing the first time you look at it, until you realize that chromexyl is really filled with fats. And in those hot climates, it becomes a little bit of a problem. But as you can see, once again, inside it's just empty. But this is getting more towards a better size. Now, I've emailed Derek a couple of times back and forth, and I think he's going to try and produce one that's a little bit taller, not made out of chromexyl. So that was one of the wallets I used a lot over there, and it didn't work out because of the type of leather. Now, this is the Washguard Brea. This is the one that I have used the most in the Philippines. On all the trips, this one has been used. The leather, I don't know what kind of leather this is, but it doesn't droop. Okay, and it's got a center pocket in it, right here. So I use that to put the bigger bills in. And so it's got storage on this side and storage on this side. Now, I only carry a couple of cards for international travel, an ID card and an ATM card. So this wallet works good for that. Now, we have spoken about putting an outside pocket. I'm not sure I need an outside pocket. Others may need that. I like the inside pocket on this better. But this needs to also be a little bit taller. And I guess the Derek has had some international requests, like I believe the pound, the UK pound and things like that, they're taller than the Thai baht is. So if I take Thai baht and I put it in here, you can see that it'll just barely go. And you can see that it might get caught in the zipper if you put a bunch of it in. So this would certainly be more usable if it was just a skosh taller, maybe half-inch taller. That would take up a lot of the problem with it. And I didn't really notice the problem with this one until I stuffed it with cash. And it's the same problem generally with all of them. The cash gets caught right up in this curved area here, because you really do end up carrying a lot of cash. So the cash gets caught, this gets zipped up, the cash, it starts to catch the cash all the way up this edge. And it just, it kind of mashes the cash on that edge. And if you try and get rid of that cash in a regular store, sometimes they don't take it. So you have to sort of put it on the Jeep drivers and the trike drivers to get rid of it. So this has been the most usable wallet and consistently usable wallet over the last couple of years. So the last one, except when we go into this absolute last one, has been this wallet here. Now this is the Washguard Passport wallet. Now it looks big, and it is big. There's the difference in the size, and it is significantly bigger than the Washguard Brea. But I have used this, and it's really convenient because cash never gets caught. The cash fits down inside very easily. You can see the cash just fits way down in there. The cash is never going to get caught, so it holds a lot of cash. The problem is it's a little big in the pocket. So I'm thinking a happy medium between this size and this size. and maybe a little bit thinner leather for this, or thinner leather on the inside. But you see, this has got an inside pocket also. And I really like this inside pocket for a bit of organizational latitude in there. And it's also got a couple of inside pockets for cards here that can go in there and in there. So I like this wallet a lot, except it's a little big in the pocket. Now, what you don't want to do, in my opinion, is to carry your passport with you at all times in a foreign country. Now, I know you read that sometimes that you got to carry your passport and all that. You don't. You know, if you feel you have to, then just go get a copy made of it and do it that way. Because you don't want to carry the document with you that's going to get you out of the country. That's not a good thing to do. I carry a passport card sometimes. In the passport card you can get from the passport office, but the passport card is really only good for the contiguous areas attached to the United States, Mexico and Canada, and some Caribbean countries. It's good for that. But it's also good for ID, though. But if you're really worried about carrying your visa with you and you want to be able to prove you've got a visa, then you'll just want to copy your bio page of the passport, copy the visa page, fold that up and put it in the wallet and do it that way. Because you do not want to carry your exit document with you all the time, because as I've found, sometimes you lose your wallet. I've only done it once, but it was sort of a major issue for a couple of days. But I like the passport wallet a lot. It's a little too big, but that's almost an okay thing too, because it puts some heft in your pocket. But anyway, something between the passport wallet and the Brea would be the perfect size. Maybe an outside pocket, maybe not, sort of depends. Definitely an inside pocket, possibly with thinner leather than this to lighten it up. But I like the inside pocket a lot. Now, the last wallet that I used for a good length of time, this is from Offenmere Leather, and they have an Etsy shop, and this is called the Gundeck wallet. Now, they sent me a couple of different versions of the Gundeck. This one is made out of a veg tan. What that means is it's a really hard leather. It's a really hard leather. I've also got one made out of Chromexel, which is a thicker leather and, in my opinion, is not as good as this for carrying the cash. Now, if I take this Tiebox and I put it in the Gundeck wallet, let's see how we do on that. See, check it out. The Tiebox fits. Okay, so the way I would do it is I would put a couple of ID cards in this slot. This flap goes over like that and gets tucked in. Now you can really, the thing I like about the Gundeck is you can really jam a lot into it because it's not going to give. There really is no stretch to this leather. So if I take all these bills, now I don't have, this is a small amount of cash to what I usually carry. You can see that it's easily held here, and I really like it because it doesn't expand. So you can really stuff it pretty full. So this is the Gundeck wallet. Like this one too. The other one that got lost when I lost the wallet was the Inkleaf Snap wallet. I like that one a lot too because it was much the same as this. It didn't really stretch and it was hard leather. So I like that one too, but I can't show it to you because it's gone. And while the contents of the wallet came back to me when I lost it, minus the cash, of course, the wallet did not come back. But somehow somebody brought the cards back, and that was a weird deal. But I got that in some videos a ways back on the Philippine channel. So these are my favorite wallets to use in the Philippines for different uses. These are what I use almost exclusively. The other minimalist wallets are too small. They're just too small for a cash economy. So this has been my choices. And I take almost all of them with me. They don't all get used at the same time, but they all get used at some time. So these are my favorite wallets for international travel. Talk to you later.